Oh, good evening, good evening. So, silsila starts. After a long time. I have tried to take this challenge, and we have lots of memories of our ED classes, and it is very challenging, and that's why I was not teaching for some time. Means ED classes, right? Yes, because it takes your Sunday as well. No family time. Whatever time we get, yes. So, whatever time we get, we take jobs. It is teaching regular classes is not as challenging as teaching ED classes. This, because every week, whenever we take class, it demands to prepare. So, and since we don't follow saying the things, so it becomes even more challenging. We started in 2013 ED classes, and gradually, let's say that it became so popular that most of the people in mains appearing, they used to study ED. This once it was quite popular that still those students who qualified that time, they still send the students, "Jao ED class karna." But then when they come to know that I did not teach, so this, so that was a time, let's say, this. Gradually I reduced my responsibility in ED classes, and things became different. This, so because it demands lots of commitment, and when we teach, so we teach like anything. This, it becomes a self-commitment. This, like, so this time we have decided, since we have experience of teaching every week. So when we used to teach every week, it used to be very, let's say that, challenging for both. And once topics get settled, then you should teach the topic. So that's why we decided to have 2 classes in a 15 days. So per 15 days, 2 classes, which we can increase as per demand. If we think that there are more topics, so we will increase it. The 15 days give you, let's say, bit window of time to prepare notes also, what we can say. Because preparing every week notes become very challenging like this. You are always on rush. That happens. Then a bit, we have tried to keep it simple. Simple is that one PT class can be PT current affairs related in a month. And 4 will be classes that will have for this mains orientation. So, but if time demands, we can increase if this is how it is needed. Second thing, we have decided that we'll dictate in the class. Let's give whatever the things we tell. It's better to note down. Noting down may not take much time. It will reduce your time, utilize your time, and then you don't have to again depend on other such notes, supplies, and etc. This, because again, let's say you read here, come class, and then again you make notes, so it's double time, and wastage of time nowadays for current developments. We will ensure, since we have now, that time if I see, now we see, so there is also a huge difference. So today, let's see exactly the demand of the, let's see what is the demand now and how it should be approached. So accordingly, it should be taught. This. So we'll try to tell the things. Let's say the structure. The structure will keep like. So structure will have, let's say, main developments, whatever the main developments we have. So that will be our main focus. The main developments which, let's say, whatever in last 1 month you can find lots of developments have happened. This, so we'll try to focus on main developments, and then we'll try to accordingly segregate on the basis of those developments. Let's PT type, content, this, then we'll have one section which, let's say, relate to update your facts examples. This, since it is time and era of, let's say, facts examples, blah blah things. So relevant facts, so many facts come, but all facts are not important. We will try to bring those facts which we can update, like recently some facts they have provided. This, so those things. Then we'll add one thing, let's say that terminologies, these terminologies which remain popular in a month, because again it is era of terminology, let's give it, which we try to write in our answers, relate, write, so that can be considered. So we'll try to add those terminologies. Then we'll keep one orientation that is called ethical lens for ethics paper. Since ethics paper is also now applied, when any topic, let's say they ask relating to, let's say even especially in intensive revision, so that has also its own ethical dimension. This, as let's say in ethics paper, so we'll try to keep it, although we'll keep it simple, I mean to say not that much complex or bulky or cumbersome. This, then in this we'll try to relate, let's say, we'll give you a list of, let's say, compilation of mains oriented questions. Mains oriented questions, so that you can practice or discuss, etc. I guess then there are also some tests also. No. Yes. 10. So I guess there are 10 main, let's say 10 mains based test. 10 mains based test means it's very huge, isn't it? Right. Yes. At least 1 month, let's say, each month there can be one test. No. This. Then there are some MCQs, etc. like this. Then we'll try to give you structure to teaching. Teaching will largely focus on this main development. I can highlight these things a bit. This I will dictate the updated facts, etc. Terminology will tell, this also will highlight. This plus will give you at least monthly 2 compilations. This one is for this ED and the other is for, we say it as DTRS. In DTRS we'll add it. This PT section we will, let's say as of now whatever the DTRS we have, so we'll try to expand it a bit. So we'll add PT type of content and as well as PT MCQs in that. PT related news and whatever we can consider like this. So that can be, let's say, a approach to take. Then when we have, let's say, current developments, so do you read newspaper? This, do you read newspaper? Not. Not reading. Reading. I guess ki nowadays people do not read newspaper.
There are many shortcuts.
Like because we want, means basically I want to know how people nowadays they try to cover their current affairs. Social media.
कोई टॉपिक है तो अगर उसको अगर आरटीआई लिखेंगे तो लिखेंगे इंडियन एक्सप्रेस या फिर तो लास्ट पास्ट 5 इयर्स के जो भी मोस्ट रिलेवेंट या फिर मेजर डेवलपमेंट होता है तो उसका आर्टिकल्स आ जाता है तो और वो चैट जीपीटी जैसे और शॉर्ट लिस्ट मतलब जो डुप्लीकेशन होता है कि सेम से तो वो एलिमिनेट करके जो मेजर होते हैं वो दे देता है तो वो समराइज में हो जाता है.
Is it like that? But does it have content? You should know Hindu is not accessible to chat GPT. Are you aware?
So people download Hindu and then upload on chat GPT. PDF upload करके ना. So they just make gist of that. They upload the Hindu and then make gist of it. Many coaching institutes are also doing the same. They're copying from there, making PDF and sending those students. This is our thing. Everything is artificial intelligence, sir.
Oh, yes, it is. But then, but I find this is, yes, it gives the content, no doubt. But there are some, I think, serious issues. Right. वो आपको नहीं पता चलेगा. So I guess that way it becomes also too much.
Sir, it's just information. It's not streamlined to UPSC. ChatGPT doesn't know where to focus, where to not. It just gives the facts. That is the main weakness.
Yes, that is what you can say. So basically newspaper, basically what happens that distinctiveness is lost. Uniqueness is lost. You are getting information and it compiles let's say that good level of information. But what we say is that the distinctiveness in that information is lost.
So like as far as public administration, अगर chat GPT को provide अगर कुछ भी देंगे तो वो as per theory जो रहेगा वो बदल देगा. But Indian administration के हिसाब से वो उसको नहीं पता कि कैसा करना तो सब information दे देगा. अब वो depend user पे करता है कि which उसको लेना है और क्या नहीं लेना है. कौन सा पिकअप नहीं करना है. एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन दोगे इन जनरल वो कंटेंट देगा इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ सोसाइटी.
इसीलिए चैट जीपीटी ने बोला था मेरी पार्कर फोलेट इज मदर ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. ठीक है. इस बार के टेस्ट में बच्चों ने लिख दिया मदर ऑफ.
चैट जीपीटी मोर मिसइन्फॉर्म्ड देन इन्फॉर्म्ड.
ठीक है. जो लिखने वाला है वो भी अनमाइंडफुल है. लिखता है कि मदर क्या कर रहे हो. Right. Anyhow, just I was to know. Then how you let's say manage, let's say, because we want to know the utility of current affairs class. Does it have still utility?
Yes.
Information.
No. In creating opinion and having deep understanding of what's going on, rather than just memorizing the facts and examples. The rationale behind any the development, why it is has happened, उसके पीछे का rationale समझना अभी भी relevant है. Because as far as the newspaper is concerned, we still find it difficult, and that's why we more depend on the monthly magazines and whatever that is available in the market for our preparation.
Yes, sir. Yes. अगर सर कोई भी करंट डेवलपमेंट है, अगर उस पर अगर हम अपना ओपिनियन डेवलप नहीं कर पा रहे, सो वी गो टू द मार्केट एंड बाय द मोस्ट लाइक मैगजीन जो भी है, लाइक टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट वो
सच है, हमने इंडियन एक्सप्रेस का भी मैगजीन यूज कर
Yes, just because in today's time, no doubt lots of information we have. So when we have lots of information, so just yes, how you are tackling it, because we do find challenges, let's say, challenges in terms of putting right perspective. This, we have seen the answers. In fact, many a time it is so much of irritating for us that I become quite, let's say that what you can say, restive, uncomfortable, I can say that. I feel because, see, we can see that this is not a right information, but we generally say that our evaluators cannot distinguish it. This, or whether they have that level of concern, this I cannot guarantee. I think no institution can guarantee this, how you see it, because when we see it, so we will try to reject it, tell it is wrong. So the consequence you can say, because when people have written also about in-house inquiry judicial wala issue, so most of the people wrote answer wrong. Wrong in the sense, they think that in-house inquiry is also about filing FIR. Right. Do you think in-house inquiry of judiciary is supposed to file मतलब कि सब कुछ करेगा वो? So then people, those who are writing answer, they were writing mains examination, they were writing answer, and they have lost their sense that what they are supposed to write. They are just putting information. Oh, in-house inquiry of Supreme Court. So it is not legitimate, it is not constitutional, it is not formal. This judiciary, it did not file FIR against Yashwant Verma. Right. So I told to one candidate, do you think in-house inquiry has a job to file FIR? What you are writing? Right. So ChatGPT will do what? It will give a good set of compilation of information. So it will compile, if you ask in-house inquiry, it will write all the information related to in-house inquiry and Yashwant Verma. Right. And it thinks it is doing good job. But ChatGPT is not sensitive. In-house inquiry क्या है? Formal inquiry क्या है? Why it was rational क्या है? Right. This. So their answers, let's say even good people, I will tell you that, those who have good hold on, they also, let's say that seem to be not mindful of that. And the same answer if you write 1 year back, 2 years back, the people would write by about having the right understanding about in-house inquiry. This anything that is informal, उसका भी तो अपना limitation होगा ना. Otherwise, why it is informal? Just it has been in news, just to tell it, we expected. So that is what we can consider, let's say, what we find, yes, it is good, it can give you information, we should rely, we are also trying to, ऐसा नहीं कि we are also using it, this. But let's say many a time I have told in other classes that I have to scold ChatGPT, although it is not deterred by that. This. So we scold, like it wrote something. When it wrote something, I told what is its authenticity? Right. Is it authentic? Are you giving authentic information? Right. Then it replies and says that no, it is not like that.
It has come from the
Right. So that is how it happens, let's say that, ki empirical aspect, authentic aspect, this way. Even we are teaching this, we'll take topic called GST amendment, means change in the rates, you can say. It says, let's say ki GST compensation fund. It says GST compensation fund would be, let's say, helpful in addressing the loss. The loss that you will have, 48,000 crore, but GST that they are amending, the decision taken by GST Council, it has decided to eliminate GST compensation fund. But what ChatGPT is responding? GST compensation fund will be helpful in, right, addressing the 48,000 loss that is incurred due to rate review. Right. That level of, let's say, ki blunders can happen. So let's say that ki we need to in-house inquiry is an example of judicial overreach. Not at all. How it can be a, let's say that ki example of judicial overreach? Rather, it was a good practice brought by judiciary. Right. That ki we will have informal inquiry. And since we are not taking topic, but I will take and I will dictate it when the time will come. We'll cover it, maybe tomorrow we'll cover it. So let me tell that, see, it was a good beginning on the side of judiciary. It is a good development that you yourself, let's say that, allowed to be inquired by an in-house system. And they do it time to time. Means they have in-house inquiry, they do it time to time, it is not noticed by public. They have internals, whatever the problems they have, when they get any internal complaint against any judge, so they conduct their in-house inquiry, which does not make any news. This, only some major things have made news, be it Ranjan Gogoi case or let's say Yashwant Verma case. This, otherwise day to day they have their inquiry. It is a healthy development to uphold accountability from inside. How it can be judicial overreach? And it is an informal. How you are expecting that it should work as something formal? Informal is informal. Right. Already you have formal system, that is inquiry through parliamentary system. Right. Anyhow, we will, let's say that not go into that aspect, what we are trying to say. And that is resulting into, let's say, people are not even trying to understand the things. They seem to be just taking information, unmindful the fact that am I really knowing in a right perspective way? Why you don't have this little wisdom? That whatever ChatGPT is telling it, even AI is telling it, we cannot rely. We should check it. Wherever we find that there can be doubt or there can be a chance of error. Because AI is also taking from the information available. And as I told you that it does not have access to the Hindu. One day I wrote in ChatGPT, I want extract from Hindu article. You know what it replies? We don't have access to Hindu. This. So I have read that article. The article I have read. Now I know the content of the article. Then I wanted to access through ChatGPT because it can summarize this. So it says no, I cannot have access to that article. It means if it cannot have access to that article, so important things written in a particular newspaper, it cannot bring. And I know the person who wrote that article, he wrote something good in that article. Right. So that is what we can consider. So generally, let's say I can end by this, right? Generally we have been telling it. Technology should be servant, not master. This, so don't make your servant master. That is how it is. Still I will tell you that since you are trying for UPSC, And even if we take this class, so you should read newspaper. Not if seriously, just go through it. This is how. See, people in past also, they had same time and they read. The more you shrink your space, you know that. This. Why you should read newspaper? Because it has no substitute. This you should know that. I will tell you, even I take time to read. If I don't read newspaper, I cannot teach you confidently, very frankly. This. Because whatever ChatGPT say, AI say, or other source, yes, I can rely on a research paper, but not on AI and ChatGPT. If I do not read newspaper or other certified source, I cannot teach you confidently, because I cannot say that whatever we are teaching is right. Yes. Similarly, when you are asked a particular thing, and that is how, let's say, imagine that what you are writing. People are writing in-house inquiry FIR. What the hell you are doing, let's say this. FIR is entirely different thing. An in-house inquiry is entirely different thing. This, let's say, basic understanding you do not have. And when any incident happens, so whether you have in-house inquiry or not, FIR filing does not get affected. This. So, it is a wrong understanding. Anyhow, it is not only one incident about wrong understanding. We find so many things. You are writing estimates committee and you have to write way forward reforms. What you will write? So, you will have to write parliamentary reforms, related reform, or any type of reform as committee reform. Right. So, they will do. That is how generic aspect it will happen. This, we have seen it. That's why we are saying this. So, in fact, it has increased our, let's say, my role. We are making some material, model answer, etc. My role has increased, because I have to be careful. This, whatever you are supplying, whether those content team members are mindful of this. This is how it is, because now this is how it is very handy. I will tell you, consequences everywhere. It is not only that you are affected, it is everyone getting affected. Yes. So, some of the things I have taken in my control, that has increased, let's say, my, let's say that occupancy and blah blah things, but just this is what we'll say this. Why we will say you that, what is written in newspaper, there is no substitute, because there are huge number of people having different expertise. They bring their knowledge in newspaper. And that the same thing we cannot find elsewhere. This. So, it will make you just familiar. It is up to you whether you are reading. I am not saying you read very seriously and then make notes of that. No, you can completely depend on what we will dictate here. We will try to bring all those terminologies, this you can consider, and terminologies and questions and other things, the key facts, we will try to bring. But still, I will tell you, just you will be familiar with this, and it gives you confidence. It keeps your content unique, because uniqueness of the content, appropriateness of the content is very important. This. Then second thing, let's say this current developments, you should know. This is how you told that why you want to do this class. It's generally I say it as concept plus information. We have to learn information through concept, context. Otherwise, that is how I was giving example of in-house inquiry. This. Okay. Then if you do not know the concept of in-house system, then you will end up having information and losing its direction. And it has become even more important now when people are largely dependent on information. This, which I will give you example. I have given another example. The Laos. The Laos was improved. Let's say that it was, let's say that dialogue partner. You know that this. Laos in Shanghai cooperation. This, and then they were, let's say, there are observers and there are dialogue partners, right? Now ChatGPT is saying that at Shanghai cooperation, dialogue partners and observers both were merged. This is what it is saying. Then I ask, is it authentic? This. Then it was in dilemma. Right. Then I had to read another article. Let's say that I had to read elsewhere, search it. Right. Because it is saying that they have merged it. It is a major development. Whether they have merged. In another article, if you read Down to Earth and other, let's say, whatever digital platform you have, they say that a decision has been taken, but there is no still explicit such development that they have merged. Right. Now you can know more authentically only when you go and read the text. Right. So that is what we can consider, let's say, concept and information. This we have to, let's say, learn so that we remain authentic, because authenticity is something, let's say, very important. Then we should know current developments. There are, let's say, that three approaches we should have. Yes. One is that there is objective development of a topic. Objective development. Objective development, I mean to say that whatever the major development you have, right? Let's say that GST 2.0, it is a development, right? You will know its features, blah blah things. Largely it will be for mains oriented. Another is, let's say, PT oriented. And third factor is, which generally, right, if we are not connected with developments, so we lose. Right? And third factor comes from discourse. This discourse, debate, this trends, patterns. Many things are not written, but they have become a pattern, they have become a phenomenon, right? They have become something, let's say that a new aspect of development, right? Let's say कि जैसे मान लो अभी क्या है deep state, right? तो deep state एक जब भी क्या है debate हो रहा है अभी, discourse हो रहा है deep state के ऊपर, but deep state पर से हो सकता है एक दो article आया हो, but deep state per se is not a development. वो कोई एक इस तरह का डेवलपमेंट नहीं है, राइट? ये एक डिबेट हो रहा है कि जो प्रोटेस्ट चल रहा है, वट एवर द प्रोटेस्ट यू हैव इन बांग्लादेश, नेपाल, UK, फ्रांस, तो वेदर देयर इज ए डीप स्टेट बिहाइंड, राइट? दिस, सो दिस डिस्कोर्स यू कैन कंसिडर द डिस्कोर्स. On discourse, there can be articles written. When we are not reading, so we may miss. But on discourse, you will not get these things. Right? Because mains articles are compiled on the basis of empirical development. What the developments have happened? What the developments have happened. Right? But there are some of the things which are not in development per se. Rather, there are debates on them. Right. And questions are asked also more on discourse, this you can say. And it is this discourse that brings also perspective. This perspective, or it enriches your answer, or it makes your answer, let's say that ki a bit, you can say different, or it can bring linkages, let's say that. There can be linkages between this aspect to that aspect. So this is what, let's say, we get. So those who read connected there, they will also be part of this discourse. And those who are not connected, their answers will be simply information not connected with present developments. So that is how. Next third factor is, let's say 3 factor we have written, plus extra factor can be considered now interlinkages. You know how GS paper, how they are interconnected. This year how questions they have asked. This. So any topic is not, let's say, just related to a particular paper. It has its own interconnections. This and that interconnections you can consider. So that interconnection we have to learn from whatever the topics we have. This. Now, structure of any current development, let's say, when you know any current development, structure of any topic. So simply you should know the context, the main feature, the main feature means, let's say this, benefits, developments, this, problems, and way forward. That should be the structure. Now, when we deal with, let's say that GS paper second, so we also see the legality, and we see the case, laws, this, and when we see, let's say that the same topic from GS paper 4, so you will try to see largely from ethical issues. As far as other papers are concerned, so yes, you can link with legality. Case law may not be the thing, but even in GS3, we can take it in terms of legality, legal policy, related development. But case laws are not important in those, let's say, sections. This. So that way we can consider. So let's take, let's say, today we'll try to cover those topics. Today we'll take topic like GST 2.0. Then there is 130th Amendment Bill. Then I guess this. Then we have we'll prepare one topic called French system, French PM, voir disnune versus Indian PM. We'll cover, let's say, Shanghai Cooperation, 25th Summit. This. So many topics were in, let's say, that news you can consider recent times, which we'll try to cover. Like we'll cover today, let's say, these things. But if I write, let's say, what topics, recent developments, so other topics are related to, there have been 2 bills passed One is related to online gaming, another is sports governance, right? Bill. Remember in past we have told that we need a sports development bill. Now finally that has been adopted. This, that is, we'll find this. Then we'll take related to, let's say, this social media. Right. Commercialization of free speech. This commercialization of free speech. We'll discuss that also in-house inquiry. We'll discuss collegium and dissent by Nagaratna, I think. Justice, the collegium once again, although last year they have asked it, so it can be linked to GS second related developments, although bills are also related, but this, then if you take IR related developments, the Shanghai we are dealing here, Indo-Japan. So Indo-Japan, then PM India-China, then tariff. But let's say कि tariff तो जब तक debate करेंगे हो सकता है हट जाएगा. So tariff issue we can consider. Plus, let's say कि it is Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Defense Pact. This we have also New York Declaration. These are some IR related developments. This science and tech, Sudarshan Shield. This. Then there was one Gaganyaan test. Plus there are some others. I think these are the developments. No, other developments agar hoga to we'll try to cover. There are some other developments related, and yes. Economy, let's we talk. In economy, let's say one article will talk one product. One article is written one product. Right, approach. This. They have basically written some article on technology and development, especially artificial intelligence, state model, Kerala, right, completely digitalized state. I think you are aware. You know I can teach all topics. So you are not aware. You'll see my other side. Right. Since you are new, so you may not be aware, like say, I can teach all topics. Right. And I used to teach all topics, ED single-handedly, this is how it is. Although yes, gradually we started having other people like, so well, other teachers we involve, but most of the topics I used to teach because I know there are challenges, etc. And this time, let's say, yes, since Lakshmi is also a bit mature enough, so we have kept him so that I can be de-burden a bit. Right. And whenever it is needed, subject specific core development has happened, very core, right? So we can bring those subject specific faculties. Otherwise, largely, let's say, I will be dealing the topics and then Lakshmi will be dealing the topics like this. He is also a person who can teach most of the topics. This. So, like he has geography, ecology, science and talk, let's say background, internal security is teaching, but he knows polity also well, he knows ethics also, let's say that, economy also. So he is also all-rounded, that way. Anyhow, so this, let's say that these are some development which will we try to cover tomorrow. Today we will take some topics, let's say this. But tomorrow we'll cover it because this is what the development is happening. There are many other things which we can find, like say, because one article was written in the newspaper. This is how we miss these things. This is called discourse. The discourse is that, let's say you know there is tariff, so only you will read tariff related information. But tariff ने कितना ज़्यादा debate, let's say trigger किया है. How much debate it had triggered, in which directions, right? So tariff has triggered debates, let's say that. In HRD sector, I will share you facts related to HRD, articles have been written, how India should focus on human resource development, so that in future it can tackle such kind of things. This you can say. Similarly, let's say that one product, one country, let's say that approach, one article was written, that how a country, if it is known in any one product, then it can tackle such kind of challenges. And then the article goes on giving examples of some countries. So this is a discourse, you know that. Right. So that discourse you can say we will find, and that is how, let's say, why Sudarshan Shield you have, let's say that aspect. Yes, this is also a discourse. Artificial intelligence, various schemes, programs, and how they are making things mechanical and, let's say, making it dehumanized. These articles have been written. But it is not any development, you know that. It is discourse. So that is how we have to understand that. We have to pick up discourse also, right, and article developments also, right. That way it can be considered like this now. So you may have read about GST 220, right? This already GST you know about. No. The GST 10 you know, isn't it? GST coming since 2000 this also known as next generation GST. right? So they will have only 5% and 18%. It has 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%. 0% भी था, but skip it. Yes? No, we'll. Yes. Now what it does? Basically it reduces to 2 slabs. Slabs are 2, that is exception. 40% you have, that is exception, let's say that. This. It will keep, let's say, 40% on, जिसको बोलते हैं sin, this sin goods. It continues this. Then what it does? What are other provisions? Have you read? Not read. Right, chalo. Right. Yes. So, main provisions. These are the main provisions. The main provisions are like 5%, 18%, 40% on sin goods. Then GST. Yes. GST tribunal. It is another major development. जिसको बोला जाता है GST Act और जी स्टेट जैसे आप बोल सकते हो, ठीक है, जी स्टैट तो GST tribunal will be, because it will deal all the disputes, but GST details have not been mentioned, let's say that, what will be, GST tribunal details have not been, appeal, where appeal will be filed, what, that clarity is not yet there, right, this. Then let's say that ki process simplification, this uniform one form, ये टेक्निकलिटी है पेपर 3 टाइप का, तो यूनिफॉर्म वन फॉर्म. अभी तक क्या होता था कि अलग अलग कैटेगरीज के फॉर्म्स होते थे, राइट. नाउ दे हैव डन वन. This, that is simplification, procedural simplification. This, then there will be, let's say कि AI based authentication, right. AI has been integrated. The AI integration will result into reducing the fake bills, right. The fake bills and others, let's say there will be greater authenticity in the process. This, that has been done. Then there would be automatic refunding. Automatic refunding means कि let's say कि 1000 very, let's say कि low GST return जिसको refund, let's say that कि you have to, let's say fund it back in GST. Let's say suppose we are paying GST, then that has to be, let's say, right. So there are huge number of people, do they file very low GST, na? So that their return, then the GST, they get it back quite delayed. So 1000 rupee or less than that, around that, they will be automatically refunded. This, so that has been done, let's say this. 1,000 or less. This. It is process, let's find this. The process related changes have also been brought. This. Then let's say it will eliminate. It will eliminate what? GST, compensation, cess and funds. Fund, let's say not funds. देखो जीएसटी कंपनसेशन सेस को उन्होंने क्या कर दिया, राइट, the cess, that GST compensation cess that we have, this cess has been brought here as, let's say that 40% on sin good, right, and this fund which was created under GST Compensation Act 2017, that fund will be abolished. Yes. This, under this, it will be abolished. Right. So these are, let's say that is some major provisions, right, of GST 20 you can consider. When you know in terms of major provisions, there are several minor provisions, right, but minor we will not go into. Then the question is, next is called benefits. What are benefits? This. The benefits will be, let's say, the first is rationalization. Right, rationalization. The rationalization, let's say that it will further improve efficiency. Further it will improve efficiency, plus it will reduce burden, tax burden. Right, so rationalization, efficiency, let's say that it will reduce tax burden. Can we say this? Right. So then it will, let's say, boost. It will boost demand. It will boost demand in economy, because when tax burden is reduced, so then people purchasing power is increased, and when more, let's say purchasing power is increased, it will generate demand in economy. According to an estimate, let's say that ki India will experience 0.6%, let's say that ki growth, GDP. This rationalization will have 0.6% impact on GDP, means it will increase our GDP by 0.6%. This. And then when tax burden is, let's say that ki reduced, consumer demand is increased, the inflation will come down, right? The inflation will come down by 1.1%. Yes. It will reduce our inflation 1.1%. This, that will be. Then it will further make Indian economy more, let's say, it will help in further strengthening Indian economy integration with world economy, right? It will strengthen integration with world economy. Right? और क्या हो सकता है? Dispute resolution. This. So next point will be this. This dispute resolution. Let's say this. इसके लिए क्या वर्ड करेंगे टर्म? institutionalization. Institutionalization of dispute, right, resolution. Institutionalization of dispute resolution. Right. This, so how many points we are writing? Benefits. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess enough. No. Other benefits you can write. Right. This. This. So other benefits can be, let's say, considered. It will further, let's say, that generate demand, expand growth, right? Development you can consider. You can say this. It meets the, let's say, true spirit of GST. Means it brings closer to what true aspect of GST is. That is called one nation, one tax. Let's say it brings closer to that, closer to the ideal aspect. There should be one tax. So now we have gone to 5, let's say this 5 and 18, we have dropped 2. So then we become, it seems that we are in, this is first, this is second, and the third is, so this is GST 10, this GST 20, GST 30. Right. The 30 will be one day we will have only 20% average. This now 5% plus, how to generate points, let's say the 5% plus 18%. This इसका average क्या होगा? 11.5. This, and it is now even less than right. So it brings our GST among the, let's say if you take world average, you know that this is what the world average of GST. These are other points generation, right? Right. Right. That's not the point, right? Right. But generic aspect. So basically, world, if you take world aspect, the world aspect if you take, generally it is 15% average. It's that we have come down to this. So now our GST has come down to a level that it is feasible that GST will be success. Where some federal states in the world have experienced, let's say, unsuccessful implementation. This you can say, unsuccessful. Or for federal state, it is very challenging to implement GST. So this is the benefit you can consider, right? The benefits that we are going to have. Then what challenges we can have? What challenges it poses? This GST 20, that's the challenges. Challenge is that first, government will immediate revenue loss. There will be immediate revenue loss, and that revenue loss will be of 48,000 crore. This immediate revenue loss will be of 48,000 crore. This that will be, and then immediate revenue loss. Then state fiscal पे क्या होगा? Right. This negative impact on state fiscal health. बस तो when negative impact होगा state fiscal health तो क्या होगा? तो it is expected, let's say states are expected to have incur revenue loss of 2.2 lakh crore. Yes. And when they will have fiscal loss, so what they will do? States, right, may this stretch what state may stretch? FR BM Act. They may tell to that कि वो हम नहीं follow कर सकते. Right. Plus what they will do? Demand for compensation, which they have already been doing. Its states will demand for compensation. This you can consider. Next challenge will be implementation. Implementation challenge. What? Simplification, adoption of new system. तो सिस्टम नया अपना क्या होगा? Then they will face technological challenge. Why technological challenge? Already उनका पोर्टल डिले चल रहा है. Already portal is running, you know that. अब आपने क्या किया है कि अब ऑटोमेटिक फंडिंग भी होगा, राइट? ये तो यू हैव टेकन मोर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, दिस यू शुड नो दैट. देन AI यू हैव इंटीग्रेटेड. तो बेसिकली नाउ इट्स मोर, लेट्स से दैट कि process has become simple for people, but technology will have to do more work. Technology will have to do more work. Process for people has become simple, but for technology it has tension has increased. This that aspect. New system अभी तक मान लो 4 slabs से चल रहा है, तो सब कुछ everything administrative institutions mechanism processes are settled as per 4 system of the slab, which started from the very beginning. They were trying to adopt. They were in the adoption mode. And by the time they are in the adoption mode, learning mode, let's say that, then now you have changed it. Now you have to do everything, you have to redesign this. So that is how challenges, let's say, they can face. So there can be implementation challenges. There can be, let's say, technological challenges. So how many points we write? Let's say 1, 2, 3. एग्जाम में ऐसे नहीं लिखना है, सबको पॉइंट में लिखना है. राइट, एग्जाम में ऐसे नहीं लिखना है. लेट्स से दैट जीएस के लिए, राइट, आप पॉइंट्स में लिखो, सबको पॉइंट में लिखो. 1, 2, अब ये भी होगा 3, ताकि पॉइंट दिखता है. 4, 5, 6, 7. नहीं तो इस तरह से 1, 2, 3, 4 ही पॉइंट दिखे. Yes, this is how you can say that. Basically, when we are teaching it, so GST का knowledge होना चाहिए. No, GST का knowledge होगा तब समझ में आएगा. This, so by this time we expect कि you may have understanding about GST, you may have read economy. If not, so later on you will read it. So these are the challenges you can consider. So how government can overcome? Right. How to overcome? That is what we have to know. How to overcome, how government can mitigate challenges. How government can mitigate challenges? This. Now, how it can mitigate? First thing is that this immediate revenue loss. So immediate revenue loss can be offset. It would be offset by कैसे 40%, right? The 40% cess on sin goods, right? इसी से इतना पैसा आ जाएगा. Right. The government would be able to generate almost equal, let's say that, through 40% cess on sin goods. This. So that is, it will try to offset by this, right?
सिंह गुड्स में जो रेवेन्यू आएगा अगर वो हाथों हाथ ऑफसेट कर देता है तो फिर तो ये प्रॉब्लम आएगी नहीं ना.
यस, नहीं आएगी.
तो फिर चैलेंज तो वही है.
तो चैलेंज हुआ इसलिए कि ये अभी एस्टिमेटेड. It is estimated, it may run to even double. एस्टिमेटेड है, गवर्नमेंट को नहीं पता है एग्जैक्टली कि दिस इज देयर रफ एस्टिमेट, बट एस्टिमेट्स रन लाइक $5 billion to $20 billion loss, let's say that, this way. Plus then states will try to, let's say that, the states will try to force center to compensate. Because of that it is being said. लोन तो ऑलरेडी ले हैं बहुत सारा. लोन लेंगे तो डेफिसिट तो बढ़ेगा ना, फिजिकल डेफिसिट, राइट. If they will take loan, the fiscal deficit will increase, and then you have FRBM commitment. Right? Yes, you are saying anything? Yes? Right. So that way, let's say that this. Then another alternative, let's say that this immediate revenue loss. Then let's say that overcome. It can promote collaborative federalism. That is dialogue, discourse with states. This boosting demand वो रिपीट हो जाएगा थोड़ा सा. Boosting demand and containing inflation. This, it has long-term fiscal sustainability. It gives loss this chief next is innovation in AI. It can help in overcoming challenges. This, so that way we can consider.
Third point should be better like boosting production and containing inflation. क्योंकि डिमांड से तो immediate cause ये होता है कि inflation बढ़ता है.
Yes, that can be considered. Boosting production, the consumer demand, let's say, तो consumer demand बढ़ेगा तो production बढ़ेगा.
That is so.
डिमांड बढ़ेगा तो रमेश भी बढ़ेगा सर, प्रोडक्शन बढ़ेगा तो
राइट, ठीक है।
प्रोडक्शन बढ़ेगा, डिमांड बढ़ेगा, एम्प्लॉयमेंट बढ़ेगा, तो पूरी एक साइकिल ही है।
Yes, right. Simple overall, it has a cascading effects. Let's say that. That is how. Let's say that.
तो कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग में लिख सकते हैं
This.
ऑफिशियल्स।
Yes, yes. Capacity building, training, वो सब अपना लिख लोगे आप. This. Capacity building, training, this coordination through group of ministers, GST coordination committee, ये सब तो ट्रेडिशनल पॉइंट ऐड कर दो, राइट? This so can have cascading effects. It was reform in waiting. This now India is poised to, so India is poised to move towards right ideal right state of GST, no, recommended by Vijay Kelkar. That is concluding point. So almost like an answer. Right. This. Now, इससे क्या होगा कि लेट्स से कि पीटी ओरिएंटेड क्वेश्चन, तो पीटी ओरिएंटेड क्वेश्चन क्या होगा, कुछ सब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चंस कैन बी फॉर्मुलेटेड, some objective questions can be formulated, you know, the different types of questions can be formulated like this कि डिमांड बढ़ेगा, इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ेगा, इन्फ्लेशन कम होगा, isn't it? That is how they will assertion, reasoning, this, that is how applied question they are asking, that they can ask that way question, right, by this GST, let's say. Plus there can be legal question, let's say that. What is legal question? Right. Legal question, the legality, let's say this. So this GST rate change, right, rate changes have been done through this. So, how it has been done? Simple question. No. Which one is correct? Online people, are you present? So respond a bit. Which one is correct option?
Amending GST law.
GST rules. Rules. बार बार हम कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अमेंड करने जाएंगे.
Last option.
डी. अब ये हो गया टेक्निकल नॉलेज. देखो, डिसीजन हैज बीन टेकन बाय जीएसटी काउंसिल इन 56th मीटिंग. ठीक है, तो वो डिसीजन लिया है उन्होंने. डिसीजन हैज बीन टेकन बाय जीएसटी काउंसिल 56th मीटिंग. इट इज अ डिसीजन ना, बट लॉ में तो चेंज होगा ना. राइट, दिस तो लॉ चेंज, क्या हम चेंज करेंगे? व्हाट वी विल चेंज? रूल्स विल चेंज. रूल्स आर डिटेल्स ऑफ ऑपरेशनल एस्पेक्ट ऑफ एनी लॉ. राइट, दिस दैट वे, बिकॉज लॉ यू कैनॉट ऑलवेज चेंज. इट्स लेट्स this that we can consider rules, let's say that. So that is the technical aspect. And it comes into force since 22nd September. Right, that is what we have to, since it is a major development. अब इसके बाद जो भी डेवलपमेंट होगा इसी से रिलेटेड कुछ होगा, बट बहुत ज़्यादा, देर आर सो मेनी आर्टिकल्स रिटन. All those articles now you reduce it, you do not need to read them, because there can be some here addition and deletion. So what we read, generally we are dealing with 3-4 aspects of a topic, like the major developments. Now there should be articulation. When we say articulated points, that is how the main points you write first. Then the main point, write the benefits, let's write this way. And question will have its own orientation. Then we go and write ki challenges kya hai, way forward kya hai. Then we have written some subjective type of this. This is something subjective. So when you write this subjective type, this is your perspective. This your subjective thing, whenever you write in your answer, it is perspective. It is this perspective which will keep your answer connected, dynamic, not flat. Right, not flat, not mechanical, because what people will do, simply they will write this, benefits, challenge, way forward. This. So by just adding these few things, including, let's say, connecting with Vijay Kelkar, already you know the context. You know that Vijay Kelkar was a person who published a paper on new fiscal architecture. In that new fiscal architecture, he says that we should move towards one GST, that is 12% GST, 6% state GST, 6% center GST. This, so Vijay Kelkar is known, so you are connecting and ending with this. Right. So that is how the approach can be when we let's say talk of a topic and it is well prepared. Right. Yes. So any doubt related to this? Is it clear?
What kind of funding
GST, let's say GST compensation cess fund, that will be abolished. Right, this basically GST compensation cess fund was created एज पर, वो भी एक टेक्निकलिटी है, वो भी न्यूज़ में है, बहुत ही लेस न्यूज़ है, उस पर क्वेश्चन आएगा. राइट, तो जीएसटी कंपनसेशन सेस फंड वाज क्रिएटेड बाय जीएसटी कंपनसेशन एक्ट 2017 and it was created for 5 years. You should know that. So ideally GST compensation fund should have been abolished by this time, but it was not abolished. It continued. It will continue by March, I guess, 2026. Government has extended it. The GST compensation cess fund would continue till March 2026. This. But as far as GST 2.0 is concerned, in that they have mentioned that it should be abolished. This. Yes, the purpose has been fulfilled, just it was extended, you can consider. Right? So that is what we can say. These are some other technicalities we can consider. This. So then there is one, we keep today lighter topics, that's because I am also trying to unnecessary का है, but yes, I am also trying to warm up. ठीक है. Because suddenly so many classes happened in this month, and they are also new, let's say essay class, that is, we are trying to redefine essay class. Right? This, yes. So difficult to get time, then MIGP, etc. Yes. But I changed, it's this time, the second class basically. You should have attended. Next class you should attend. Right? This, I change it, I will change next class also. This, but I will bring change in that also further. This, because we are also trying to learn, I mean to say that I had given up. Things were different, we were trying to delegate. I was trying to de-burden myself. We were delegating so many things, we delegated. A time came that Abhijit used to see the essay, I had reduced myself. Yes. Right. Right. It is re-centralization. Right, re-governmentalization. इस बार पूछा है उन्होंने, right, paper second में, right. This, anyhow, so this bill has been introduced. इसका थोड़ा सा legality है, you should know this, right. So context एक ही पेज में finish हो जाएगा. Context basically केजरीवाल साहब है. बस. बट लेट्स से कि पास्ट में ऐसा भी हुआ है, लालू प्रसाद यादव, जयललिता एटसेट्रा, यू नो दैट दिस. एंड देन हेमंत सोरेन. This, it has been found basically, fact authenticity is doubtful, but first chief minister to remain in office being in jail. हालांकि I have not checked this. It is said कि let's say this, he served so many, let's say that कि
काफी टाइम तक थे वो.
yes.
He was continued as a chief minister. और बहुत टाइम बाद फिर उनके जो आतिशी थे, वो बहुत टाइम बाद हुआ.
Yes, yes, yes. So that is how it is being said that. So, and Hemant Soren, he goes for some time late.
So he
This,
resigned and then he resigned and then he went.
acha, so he resigned. It's this.
His father also. His father.
Yeah. So basically, it happened, but then it is. This is how. Then he will become first. Let's say that, the first chief minister to be, let's say that, in office while being in jail. That way. Then it creates a question called, let's say that, ki this raises a question of, let's say, एक टर्म यूज किया गया है इसके लिए, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोप्राइटी. This, the question of constitutional propriety. This constitutional propriety is related to, it is something called integrity and accountability, let's say that. Ki whether a chief minister means holding a constitutional post, let's say, they can serve from being in jail. Right? Does it affect, does it raise question, let's say that, against constitutional propriety? This, so that we can consider. So this, therefore the bill, let's say that, bill क्या कहते हैं, right? Bill, main provision. This, so bill main provision is, if you say that, its main provision is this: give 30 days, right? 30 days, chief minister, prime, and ministers, right, remain in jail. और वो क्या टर्म यूज करते हैं? कॉन्जिक्यूटिव. दिस कॉन्जिक्यूटिव डेज, मतलब इंटरमिटेंट हो सकता है. They use consecutive. It means कि intermittent हो सकता है. This third, yes, yes, that is what we will say, the consecutive days, right? And the crime, let's say that charge, what's the crimes? Whatever the crimes you have, let's say, it should have 5 years or more, let's say, years of punishment. That crimes may result into 5 or more years of punishment. This punishment, this you can say. Then should be removed from office. This by president and governor. Yes. That way. Yes. No arrest नहीं. Conviction. If any crimes committed, and that crimes can have 5 year or more level of punishment, this 5 year or more level of punishment you can consider. So they can be terminated or removed from the office by president or governor. And if let's say ki, in means ki they are also in 30 days consecutive in jail. This, that provision. Right.
Either of both. Either of both conditions.
No. Right. It's both. It should be both. This. It is not either.
But Kejriwal was not convicted for 5 years.
But conviction तो ये बोल ही नहीं रहा है. crimes that may result into 5 years or more years of punishment. No conviction. Right? This you need to know. It simply says that if you have committed any crimes, and that crimes may result into 5 years or more punishment. Right? Plus you are in jail, let's say that your custody, let's say for 30 consecutive days. This. तो दिस वे तो कोई क्राइम किया होगा 5 year more years का, ठीक है, वो लेट्स से दैट एंड देन व्हाई दे आर ब्रिंगिंग दिस राइट कंडीशन, this condition, let's say that this, so in that case let's say that they can be removed, right? Now अब ये देखना होगा, क्योंकि अभी ये बिल है तो अभी ड्राफ्टिंग स्टेज में है, तो इतना ज़्यादा नो कंडीशंस बेसिकली लेट्स से कि वी हैव टू सी लेट्स से कि आइदर है राइट नो वेदर बोथ शुड बी टुगेदर, दैट इज हाउ आई एम सेइंग नो चूंकि अभी ड्राफ्टिंग स्टेज पे है तो इतना क्लैरिटी नहीं है, राइट? लेट्स से कि आइदर और बोथ, लेट्स से दैट सपोज समवन इज 30 days and consecutive in let's say that की custody or jail, right? Or crimes committed for 5 in which, right, whether both they will take or either one they will take, that clarity अभी let's say clear नहीं है, right? और आई कैन टेल यू टुमारो, मैं थोड़ा और देख के बता दूंगा कि वो है कि नहीं ऐसा, राइट? बट ये ड्राफ्टिंग स्टेज पे है। देखो दोनों होने का यही है ना कि नहीं फिर इसका क्या मतलब है 30 days? तो क्या वो मान लो हमने क्राइम किया, सॉरी सर हमने क्राइम किया, ठीक है, और हाँ उस क्राइम का पनिशमेंट 5 years है, तो वेदर लेट्स से कि आई शुड गो जेल देन आई शुड बी टर्मिनेटेड, ठीक है, तो विल सी दैट that is how let's say these are issues, let's say how president will come to know कि he will be punished for 5 years or more. This see on these things, since bill has been introduced, there are so many gray areas of this, so clarity a bit lacking that ki how it will happen, but these are the provisions that they have introduced. Right, 30 consecutive days, crimes committed of 5 or more years, no conviction, etc. Let's you can consider. As far as its positive aspect is concerned, let's say I will tell. The positive is that its intention is good. This is how positive. This constitutional, what does it promotes? It promotes constitutional propriety. That it promotes political accountability, strengthens constitutional morality. Yes, that you can consider. Because anyone who is holding political position, constitutional position and committing offense, certainly let's say he not supposed to, right? It can strengthen legitimacy of democracy, let's say this it is. But then what it questions? Right. It raises issues what is, let's say, issues it raises? First is called, right, issue of rule of, what it says, presumption of innocence until proved the presumption of innocence until proved guilty. This second is, right, questions due process of law. This due process, because whether you are going to arrest and charge, isn't it? Whether you deliberately detain for 30 days, this, that presumption you can consider like. The next would be this, what it will result into amendment, isn't it? They have proposed that amendment of Article 75 and 164. It is a federal provision. It is federal. So when it is federal, so does it breach? Right. Is it? Right. Or does it breach? So does it breach federal polity? This way. Then governors, president, this, whether it increases discretion, right. Discretion. And then in this case, there are case laws. You know that, SR, Bomai case. Right. And this Rameshwar Prasad case, 2006. This, in both cases, what? Removal of chief minister should be done through floor test. This, but here you are going to remove on this presumption, let's say, this plus misuse of power. Investigating agency, already they have been CBI enforcement, directorate, this. So it equally, let's say that, it equally raises more doubt than it solves the problems. This, that you can consider. So what should be done? Safeguards क्या होगा? What can be safeguards? This.
Clear articulation to reduce that subjectivity, misuse.
बात आर्टिकुलेशन का नहीं है, about the law itself. can we presume anyone, let's say that, what will happen? Suppose that there can be been deliberate effort to implicate someone in a crime that is of 5 years or more, and then simply, let's say, to remove person, arrest person, keep in 30 days and remove that person. You will say that कि innocence आप हो जाएंगे, right? Innocence proof हो जाएंगे, तो आप फिर से ऑफिस ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? तो आप innocence 15 years के बाद प्रूव होते हैं, right? Right. बट बेल से थोड़े होगा. बेल ठीक है, ठीक है, दैट इज हाउ बेल यू गेट बेल, राइट? बेल ही नहीं देते हैं. बेल मिलता है, राइट? बेल और जेल का तो यही तो चक्कर है, राइट? दिस let's say Kejriwal, when you have given bail to him, when Manish Sisodia was given bail, right? Not about ED. Let's, भाई ED का क्या मतलब है? Crimes committed. तो when crimes have been committed, we have arrested. तो you can किसी को भी आप arrest कर लो money laundering में. You can arrest anyone under money laundering, and then since under money laundering act bail is not given, so you will not be given bail. And then after 5 years you are acquitted. Misuse of criminal justice system. First you also bring, let's say, win trust of people by addressing the let's say issues under criminal justice system. You are keeping so many people in jail, they are incarcerating, even charge sheets are not filed. So do we have any positive example from criminal justice system where you get swift judgment? Right. So forget about conviction rate. So how the people, let's say political class, will get confidence and trust? Will they have trust? They will not have trust. Right. See, nobody is saying about you acquit a person who commits offense, right? But first what we are doing is that process itself is punishment. We have made process itself punishment. By the time after 1 month you come, after let's say you get bail, political situation has changed. Just imagine कि 1 महीने तक आप क्या करोगे? Suppose chief minister is removed for 2 months. What you will do for 2 months? What you will do for 2 months? For 2 months you will make Mr. B as chief minister, right? Now Mr. A, right, comes back. What will you remove him? Will we remove him? He will say, I will not resign. Right. So basically, let's say that suppose he resigns also. So what you are doing? You are keeping the political stability yourself at stake. He is a chief minister, just only, let's say, namesake. Right. He is a chief minister only in a namesake. That you should know that. Because 2 months he will remain, he knows if he resigns, he is a loyal person. When he is a loyal person, so then he will not take any decisions. He will wait for the chief minister. Right. 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 So you are keeping the state governance for 2 months or 3 months, whatever, suspended. Right. Or even if he comes back, what will happen? Political scenario changes. It is not trying to, it is trying to solve one problem, that is removing a person who is committing offense to not hold political office, but then it is creating another problem, and that is called political instability. Yes, and it is giving scope for political brickmanship. मतलब खरीद फरोख्त पैसा वैसा. System, let's say that. System, let's say that. Therefore, what you have to do is, you should, let's say, first you ensure anyone who is holding chief minister post, he is a clean person. This is how you should ensure that. Plus, if any crime has been committed, this let there be, let's say, an independent review. Independent review board or a judicial board. Judicial board, whatever the name you can give. When chief minister is arrested, crimes committed, then let there be an independent judicial board constituted by judiciary to have a prima facie review of the case. It is prima facie review, that will give independence, right? And then that board can review कि क्या substance है इस case में, whether there is a substance in the case, it is a misplaced case, this you can consider. So that should be, let's say, that can be a safeguard, let's say, against any such misuse. Second thing has been told that ki fast track process. Right. Such cases should be heard in a fast track manner. This fast track process, right, hearing. This third aspect is that let the court, let's say that ki pass order. This मतलब court pass order, let's say that, or court, let's say, review the case, that whether there would be 5 years, मतलब court itself can scrutinize, right? So there should be something coming from the court side when case has been filed, whether the case has the substance, it does not have the substance, or you can say talk to the police to file charge sheet in this case. It means merely on the basis of someone who has been implicated in a case and arrested, that should not be the basis for removal from office. There should be some safeguards, institutional mechanism, whether it is a judicial committee, independent review, fast track hearing of the case, or let's say ki judiciary, let's say that giving any interim order. Right. Let's say there should be any interim order on that. Let's say this, the interim order you can vote, you can say that. Interim order. This otherwise it will create more problem than
Interim order about substance.
interim order, yes, about the case, let's say the case that you have filed. This, जैसे आप you can see that कि Rahul Gandhi was, let's say that कि given 2 years of punishment in Gujarat High Court. What Supreme Court gives? It stays. उसके बाद कोई judgment ही नहीं आया. Right. So you can see how there is a misuse. You have more evidence of misuse rather than having evidence of use of law. This. Yes, you don't have a precedent that law has been applied in letter and spirit, but you have the precedent that law has been misused, be it any party at center. This. So let's say ki High Court gives judgment, Supreme Court thereafter has not dealt that case at all. It does not find merit. This, because merely by staying on that, काम बन गया. Right. You don't have to pass an order on that, right? So you can say that there is a gross misuse by the High Court, right? This, even High Court level also, let's say they are manageable. Matlab, there can be such kind of error in judgment if not manageable, right? So then let's say that this is how motivated people can file case, right, against a chief minister, and then those cases can be having 5 year or more punishment, and then let's say then you can arrest the person, detain for 30 days, and that is how it can happen. Yes. So that way you should tell that. So way forward is the few lines I can dictate in this instead of writing. Right. Even if the bill has a good intention of constitutional propriety, but it raises more questions and issues. Than solving them. Hence, safeguards should be let down. To ensure rule of law and due process. Right. One should remember justice delayed is justice denied. Justice delayed is justice denied. But justice hurried is justice buried. Justice hurried is justice buried. That is how we can talk on this. So let's take next. This. Special intensive revision. That's yes. This. already lots of things you may have read on this. So what we are saying is that already you know that some specific aspect you can see this. There are some technical aspect that you should know. There are some legal aspect that you should know. Otherwise, as far as substance aspect is concerned, so that is not challenging. You know elections, you can write it. Legal, technical. This it will have some factuals also. This basically it is like all those who are voters who are already they have their voter ID etc. till 2023, they are not supposed to apply. It is applicable to only those who are 2003 onwards. This that way. Then there are 12 types of documents. Basically there were 11 types of documents. The 12th document was added, that is called Aadhaar, by Supreme Court order. Otherwise, this is what Election Commission was not considering Aadhaar. This. So question, we have told her कि question Aadhaar पर आएगा, इस पे नहीं आएगा. This. तो जो हमारा डिबेट का पार्ट नहीं है, क्वेश्चन वहाँ आएगा. This Aadhaar, this should be considered Aadhaar related, we have done this and that, etc. So what are the issues associated? We are not considering Aadhaar as basis for ID proof. This. Anyhow, this plus basically 7.2 crore voters applied for this, of which 65 lakh voters were declared dead. That is how it became issue you can consider. Right? Legal constitutional aspects, so this you can say that constitutional you will find this, the Article 324, it gives power to, this is called plenary power. This, it gives plenary power to, plenary power means it's broad power. It gives broad power to Election Commission of India to conduct free and fair election. Under free and fair elections, Election Commission has this power to carry out all this review. And therefore, let's say we have even legal aspect also. So we have Representation of People Act 1950. As per Representation of People Act 1950, there can be preparation of electoral roll, revision of electoral roll, and deletion of, let's say, an addition. This. So Constitution may not mention it, because Constitution deals with macro level, but it is Representation of People Act that mentions about electoral roll, its preparation, revision, deletion, and addition. This. Now, then we have another law, means according to this, we have a rule called registration. Registration to electors' rolls, let's say that, and this we have called 1960. अब ये उसका रूल हो गया. This is act, this is rule. This, it will deal details of its, no? Details of process, procedures, powers, this and that of different local administrative authorities. This, so that is how these things can be considered as legal aspect, the legal basis. Now, once let's say this, it was done, so petition was filed. This petition was filed, and this is petition by, let's say, ADR. ADR filed the petition, then Supreme Court gives its order, including, let's say, Aadhaar, plus publication of 65,000 dead voters, plus let's say that give opportunity, let's say that opportunity to voters to apply for their revision, let's say addition, जो भी है, let's say this. Open a window at your portal, this become more inclusive, become more broad, more receptive, this. So that is how Supreme Court, let's say, aspect can be considered, right? Now, if you take revision, let's say that, revision or electoral roll, so basically we have three types of practice, 1, 2, 3. This it is, one is called a summary review. So summary review is done by, let's say, time to time. Summary, let's say electoral roll, they will try to have summary review, and in that summary review they will try to see that whether there are bogus voters, fake voters, electoral roll, they will try to improve the electoral roll. The summary review is done by Election Commission, it's a regular practice. Then let's say continuous review. Continuous review. So continuous review is something, let's say कि आप भी जाकर के अपना आपके इलेक्ट्रल रोल मीन्स कि उसमें कोई चेंज आया है वोटर आईडी में, तो यू कैन गो एंड चेंज योर एड्रेस. दिस, तो देयर इज ए कंटिन्यूअस रिव्यू ऑफ इलेक्ट्रल रोल, समरी रिव्यू ऑफ इलेक्ट्रल रोल्स, समरी कंटिन्यूअस रिव्यू ऑफ इलेक्ट्रल रोल्स. दिस it starts every year in January. मतलब it has its own, let's say, opening, let's say, month, closing month, like this. And then another is called that special intensive revision. This special intensive revision. Now, special intensive, by that intensive मतलब होता है कि right here summary review, तो you can yourself assess electoral roll, you assess yourself, you may not go to people, let's say that. Here also you are not going to people, this. But in intensive review you are supposed to go to people, door to door जिसको बोलते हैं, house to house. यहाँ पे क्या करते हैं आप, you force the voters to respond. Right. What we do that? Force voters to respond. That will happen. And intensive means कि scrutiny will be more, scrutiny of documents, let's say that. The scrutiny of documents would be intensive. Right. Now here what you have? This called booth level officer. Then booth level agents. This you should know that. तो जिसको BLO बोलते हैं, this BLA. They are supposed to go, they are supposed to, let's say that, go house to house, elicit the response, review it. That is summary. Summary is a more, let's say that en masse you can consider that ki Election Commission of India, they can review it. This, and here it is a continuous process. It depends on you. You may go, you may not go, like this aspect. But this is something ki they also become more active, and the citizen will have to necessarily respond. This you can say. Now time to time it has been done, let's say that ki this Time to time means कि basically 1950s to 1970s. That was one phase where we had, because 50s में we started making electoral rolls after independence, preparing it, etc. So there may be time to time intensive, let's say, ki review. Then let's say that कि it also happened during 90s intensive review, जिसको बोला जाता है electoral, let's say that कि electoral photo identity card. EPIC, yes. EPIC. Right. So electoral photo identity card, right? During TN session time. At that time also there were intensive review, right? And after this intensive review, now we are doing in Bihar. This. No, I don't think. Maybe. Right. Yes. On evolutionary part, so let's keep. They may have done. Right. वो एक बार और भी इसके पहले भी किसी और स्टेट में भी हुआ था शायद. Right. Yes. Right. Anyhow, so they have been doing it, let's say that. Means it has been done in past also. It is not first time that it is being done. Right? This special intensive revision. Now the question is that why it is being done. This, why it is being done. So basically, let's say first is demography change. Demography change, then migration, and third is security. That is what we can say. Yes? That is it, security, let's. Now, then the question is, what are issues? Issues. So one is called that timing. This timing has been criticized. Next is fairness. This you can see this. So fairness, let's say this. Then documents or documentation. This exclusion rather than inclusion. This. Then preparedness. That is called efficiency, administrative efficiency. This, and let's say rigidity rather than flexibility. basically let's say कि both, let's say procedural justice, due process, this, both let's say that you'll find that have been questioned. Right. Court, let's say that this court, the court has forced this court has forced then Election Commission of India has adopted receptive attitude. This means Election Commission of India, let's say its approach should be that ki it should have itself, it should be flexible to people, and it should be, let's say, giving them, allowing them more and more time. Let's say transparency, let's say that, so transparency. This transparency in the sense that it refused to give details of 65 lakh people, let's say. Even in Supreme Court also, let's say that once Supreme Court told that, then it agreed to give details of the list of 65 lakh people who are dead. Right. This, so largely it is about timeliness. In Bihar, flood was going on, flood-like situation, you can say this. Election is very close. So when election is very close, so then politics will be played on this. That also we can consider. So people may not have time to get, let's say, their, let's say, list corrected. So basically it's about, let's say that कि citizen, when you say citizen को आप master समझते हो, but उनको servant से भी, let's say that कि you treat them worse than servant. Master का मतलब क्या है? This, rather you should be the servant, let's say that you should. Your intention seems to be that you are trying to remove them from the list rather than include them in the list. In the name of security. Right. Matlab, how many infiltrators are in Bihar? Right. And then let's say कि those issues we cannot tell, but let me tell that कि Aadhaar you have brought. Aadhaar you have brought. You are promoting Aadhaar. You are agreeing that ki Aadhaar will be seeded with voter ID, and then we were ready for simultaneous holding of elections. Aadhaar we have seeded with direct benefit transfer. Aadhaar we have seeded with direct benefit transfer. Does it mean ki through Aadhaar in DBT you are transferring the money to infiltrators? So your view itself is self-defeating. Right. When we say कि we will not accept Aadhaar, and you have seeded Aadhaar with direct benefit transfer, right? And you are yourself saying कि Aadhaar, let's say कि even infiltrators have Aadhaar. Plus, it is your government for 20 years in, let's say कि Bihar. At least for 15 years you have the government. Right. You are also for 10 years. What you are doing? तो अगर आप सीरियस बात करने लगोगे, सीरियस नोट पे जाओगे, राइट, तो जिस लोगों को गवर्नमेंट से अकाउंटेबिलिटी पूछना चाहिए, गवर्नमेंट लोगों से अकाउंटेबिलिटी पूछ रही है. राइट. मैं अगर खुल के बोलूं, हालांकि सब लोग नोन है एंड फर्स्ट क्लास है, बट this way we can consider, right? So the question you will find that when we talk about this let's say aspect, when we talk, so accountability. If you ask to me personally, I will tell to people that don't give any document, come on road. Refuse to give any document. Right? Why? Because Aadhaar you have brought. Citizens have not brought. Aadhaar you have linked with various things. If you are telling कि 2003 आधार तो उस समय था ही नहीं, ठीक है, आधार तो अभी आया है, 2016 में लॉ बना है, and then it is seeded with DBT. Aadhaar you have promoted like anything, even saying कि now it is full proof, and then next day you say that कि no, Aadhaar we would not accept. It is your government for 15 years in Bihar, Nitish Kumar government. The government would be held responsible if infiltrators have come. If infiltrators have got fake ID, they should be blamed. Government should be held responsible. At center, you have also 10 years government. Right? The accountability will be on your side. Right? But now we have put accountability upside down. Right? This you should know that. So, आजकल अब गवर्नमेंट से कोई अकाउंटेबिलिटी नहीं पूछता है, इसलिए कि आपने डिस्कोर्स ही बदल दिया है अकाउंटेबिलिटी का. राइट? दैट डज नॉट मीन कि सिटीजन शुड नॉट गिव डॉक्यूमेंट्स. दे शुड गिव डॉक्यूमेंट्स, बट लेट्स से दैट कि यू शुड क्रिएट लीस्ट ट्रबल टू सिटीजन्स. आर यू क्रिएटिंग द लीस्ट ट्रबल टू सिटीजन्स? आर यू आर क्रिएटिंग फियर साइकोसिस इन देयर माइंड? हर आदमी के माइंड में फियर साइकोसिस है. राइट? दिस कि वो हमारा बनेगा कि नहीं बनेगा. तो पूरे बिहार के लोगों में आपने एक फियर साइकोसिस बना दिया, और अब तो पूरे राइट. दिस इज व्हाट वी आर गवर्निंग, बिल्डिंग ट्रस्ट. राइट? तो अब ज़्यादा हार्श नोट पे जाएंगे तो दिस इज हाउ इट कैन बी. लेट्स से दिस इट्स देयर ड्यूटी. दे शुड हैव फुल प्रिपरेडनेस. पता ही है बिहार है, वहाँ लोग लेट्स से इतना ज़्यादा एजुकेटेड नहीं है. देयर विल बी ह्यूज चैलेंज in terms of administrative, let's say that inconvenience. People don't know how to write, they don't know where to go, what to do. Have you done proper preparedness? Have you trained the people over there? Right. On the other hand, we talk mission Karm Yogi. This. So on the other hand, let's say कि you talk what not, constitutional propriety की हम बात कर रहे हैं. On the other hand, let's say कि you keep troubling, let's say that people. This, so that is how it seems to be conflictual, right? And then even if you have right intention, but then people can doubt your intention. There can be this, and that is how, let's say that you can consider the way forward when you say like what it should be done. It should have, it should give the, this is how you should write way forward. This way forward, let's first there should be adequate preparedness. There should be adequate preparedness for such exercise. Next, people should be given adequate number of chances for correction. Next, Aadhaar should be used as ID proof. Right. As it is government law-based tool. law-based tool. Next, public awareness. Public awareness through various platforms. In fact, in bracket, IEC, Information, Education and Communication. Information, Education and Communication. Right. To make people aware, do's and don'ts. Do's and don'ts. Next, collaborative approach. Collaborative approach by taking other stakeholders, self-help groups, PRIs, public school teachers, political parties, Next, AI-based portal for elimination of bogus documents, etc. This change paragraph. Abraham Lincoln remarked, ballot is more powerful than bullet. Ballot is more powerful than bullet. Next, under Article 326, citizens enjoy right to vote, which is a democratic right, and therefore there should not be any such development which may result into disenfranchisement. Rather, review of electoral rolls should be intended to embolden enfranchisement. That is what we can say, right? So that is how. Today we'll finish here. We'll take, though it will delay. Tomorrow we'll take Shanghai cooperation.
Tomorrow is class, sir.
Yes. Tomorrow is also class. So since today is first class etc., it is a bit slow. Tomorrow we'll take further. And so tomorrow we'll cover those topics. Let's see how many topics we can cover. The topics that we wrote, but this is how, let's see, current developments we can approach. No. Yes. These topics. Tomorrow we'll cover more topics because I'll speed up and this. So is it okay? Right. This. So let's take tomorrow. Thank you for joining online people. Right. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Right.